Using Ahrefs, the ultimate B2B SEO platform. Why B2B revenue teams can't ignore search in 2025. B2B buying has shifted from talk to sales early to research quietly, decide fast. About 69% of the purchase process now happens before buyers engage sellers, and 81% choose a preferred vendor before a rep ever gets a real shot. If your brand doesn't show up during that research window, your SDRs are often calling into a decision that's already been made. The preference for self-serve is only getting stronger. Gartner reports 61% of B2B buyers prefer a rep-free experience, and 73% actively avoid suppliers that send irrelevant outreach. That's not a knock on Outbound. It's a signal that relevance and timing matter more than ever, especially for any cold-calling agency or outbound sales agency trying to break through. This is exactly why we treat SEO as a revenue function, not a marketing side quest. When you use Ahrefs to understand what your ICP is searching, which competitors they see first, and which pages actually earn trust, you can align content, targeting, and outbound messaging so your team shows up earlier and shows up smarter. SEO is a sales channel, the metrics that justify the focus. SEO earns budget when it proves impact, and the channel-level numbers are hard to ignore. Organic search drives roughly 53% of all trackable website traffic, which makes it the single biggest digital lever most B2B teams can influence. When buyers are doing their homework in Google, ranking is really just shorthand for being considered. More important than traffic is conversion and deal quality. The average conversion rate from organic search is around 5%, and SEO-sourced leads close at roughly 14.6% versus about 1.7% for outbound-sourced leads. That's why we push teams to use Ahrefs to find the right intent, not just the biggest keyword list. The economics are just as compelling. B2B SaaS SEO can deliver about 702% ROI over 3 years, and organic cost per lead can be dramatically lower, around $147 for organic versus $280 for paid search in SaaS benchmarks. Put simply, when Ahrefs helps you win a few high-intent terms, you're often reducing CAC while improving pipeline quality. What makes Ahrefs a true B2B SEO platform, not just a tool? Ahrefs is widely adopted because it supports real decision-making, not just reporting. Industry usage data suggests 82% of SEO pros use Ahrefs weekly, 59% rank it as the best all-in-one SEO tool, and 64% say they trust its backlink index the most. For B2B teams, that matters because good enough data is how you end up investing quarters of content into the wrong intent. The platform's depth is a competitive advantage when you're reverse engineering markets. Ahrefs' backlink index spans roughly 493 biz pages and 35,000 external backlinks, backed by the second most active crawler after Google. That scale is why Site Explorer and backlink research can reliably show what's working in your category and where competitors are gaining authority. In practice, we encourage teams to treat Ahrefs like a revenue platform. Keywords Explorer for ICP-driven demand capture, Content Explorer for content and prospect discovery, Site Audit or Ahrefs Webmaster Tools to protect your money pages, and Rank Tracker to monitor the themes that correlate with demos and pipeline. The moment sales, marketing, and RevOps share the same Ahrefs view, prioritization becomes far less political and far more measurable. Build an ICP-First keyword map with Keywords Explorer. The biggest strategic unlock is starting with your ICP, not with a volume filter. In B2B, a small keyword can be massive if it maps to a high ACV pane, a real buyer role, and a clear offer. We recommend you write down the problems your best fit accounts pay to solve, then validate those topics in Ahrefs Keywords Explorer for difficulty, traffic potential, and, most importantly, intent. From there, turn keywords into a usable map for revenue teams. Each cluster should align to a persona and a sales play. What page answers the problem? What CTA makes sense at that stage? And what follow-up your SDR agency, internal or outsourced, should use when someone engages? This is where SEO starts powering Outbound. When your cold email agency or cold calling services reference the exact pains prospects are already searching, response rates and connect quality typically improve. This approach also prevents the most common SEO mistake, chasing high-volume terms that don't produce pipeline. Ahrefs makes it easy to see when a keyword is informational, comparison-driven, or purchase intent, so you can prioritize the terms that actually justify SDR time. When the keyword map is tied to offers and qualification, your outsourced sales team isn't guessing which pages to send or which objections to preempt. Rankings are hypotheses about intent. If page 1 is telling you buyers want comparisons, pricing context, or implementation details, your content and your outbound should match that reality, not your internal narrative. Turn Content Explorer and link data into a prospecting engine. Content Explorer is one of the most underused features for revenue. Instead of only asking, "What should we write?" ask, "What content is already earning links and attention around our ICP's problems?" When you find top-linked pieces in your niche, you can export referring domains as both link targets and sales targets, because those companies are already signaling interest in the category you sell. This is where SEO and sales outsourcing can compound each other. Marketing uses those referring domains for link-building outreach, while your sales development agency uses the same list as an intent-weighted prospect set for LinkedIn outreach services, targeted cold email, and B2B cold calling services. Instead of generic checking-in messaging, you can ground outreach in the exact topic ecosystem prospects are engaging with. At SalesHive, we like this workflow because it keeps outbound relevant without slowing down execution. Once Ahrefs identifies the themes and the sites that influence your buyers, our list-building services and SDR teams can segment accounts by fit and intent, then run multi-channel outreach that feels timely rather than random. It's a cleaner way to build pipeline than treating SEO and telemarketing as separate worlds. Fix the mistakes that kill SEO-to-Pipeline impact. One failure pattern shows up everywhere. Teams report success in rankings while pipeline stays flat. That usually happens when Ahrefs is used as an SEO scoreboard instead of a revenue system, winning SERPs that don't match buyer intent, publishing content that never points to a meaningful offer, or ignoring on-site conversion paths. Rankings matter, but only as a leading indicator for qualified sessions and demo behavior. Another costly mistake is siloing Ahrefs inside marketing. When SDRs and AEs can't see what's ranking, what's declining, and what competitors are surging on, they default to generic positioning and irrelevant outreach, the exact thing buyers say they avoid. Sharing dashboards, building simple enablement around top pages, and aligning sequences to the keyword map turns Ahrefs into a practical advantage for any B2B sales agency or internal team trying to create lift with limited headcount. Finally, technical debt quietly taxes everything. If site audit flags issues on your highest intent pages, slow load, broken internal links, poor indexability, you're effectively paying a conversion penalty on both inbound and outbound that lands on those URLs. The fix is operational. Prioritize technical items by business impact and run a monthly sprint so your best pages keep earning and converting traffic. Operationalize Ahrefs with shared workflows and RevOps visibility. Ahrefs creates the most value when it becomes a shared source of truth. Set up Rank Tracker around revenue-critical themes, commercial, comparison, integration, and best X for Y queries, and review changes weekly, not quarterly. When a cluster moves toward the top 3, it's a signal to adjust CTAs, refresh content, and coordinate outreach timing with your SDR manager or outsourced SDRs. To connect Ahrefs data to pipeline, treat content clusters like campaigns. Tag landing pages in your analytics and CRM, and report MQLs, SQLs, and opportunities influenced by each cluster so you can defend investment and kill noise fast. This is also how you stop measuring SEO success only on keyword movement and start measuring it on meetings and revenue, which is the language leadership cares about. We also recommend using Site Explorer to de-risk target accounts before a big ABM push. If a segment has minimal organic visibility, weak content signals, or low category engagement, you may need a heavier outbound motion, partnerships, or a different wedge. That insight helps a cold calling team focus where the odds are better, rather than forcing activity where intent is absent. Next steps: a practical rollout that builds momentum in 30 days. If you're starting from scratch, begin with what's easiest to operationalize. Verify your domains in Ahrefs Webmaster Tools. Run a site audit and identify the handful of pages most likely to influence demos. Improving those money pages first typically outperforms publishing net new content, because you're converting more of the demand you already have while clearing technical blockers that suppress rankings. Next, build a focused keyword map from your ICP and pick a small set of clusters that align to how buyers decide. Publish consistently, but keep intent honest. Comparison terms should compare, solution terms should show proof, and product-adjacent terms should make the next step obvious. As those clusters start performing, use Content Explorer and link research to build authority and feed those same insights into your outbound sales agency playbooks. Finally, decide how you'll convert that search demand into conversations. Ahrefs will show you what buyers care about. The growth unlock is turning that insight into targeted outreach that matches the language and problems prospects are already researching. If you need speed without headcount, partnering with a B2B sales outsourcing team like SalesHive can help you translate SEO insights into cold email, B2B cold calling, and booked meetings, so the pipeline impact shows up in the quarter, not just in a traffic chart.